Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Monday, June 15th, 2020, and we again find ourselves in the final hour of the trading day. I mention this each day, but in my opinion, at least for me, the best time to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions is at the end of the day, in the last hour, and particularly in the last few minutes. This is because during the day, you have the algorithms, you have the day traders. They are the ones in control of the price during the day. They're moving it around. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in. They're dealing with the most money. They have very smart people, really good information, best technology, and they start placing their bets at the end of the day, and they start moving the market, and they take the price control away from the day traders and the algorithms. So I consider them smart money, and I like to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions based upon what they are doing. That being said, I did have a couple day trades today. I will be showing you those. They're still in the process of working themselves out. So I'll show you what's going on with those. So anyway, listen, thank you so much for coming. As always, it's always nice to see everybody. I always look forward to it. I hope you had a good weekend. Thank you for investing your time here. I hope it's helping you with your trading and your investing. So thanks a lot. Always look forward to seeing everyone. Let's take a look here. Mohammed is here. Hi, Mohammed. Good to see you, my friend. Always nice to have you here. Hope you're having a good day, sir. Quad Racer. Hey, Quad. Good to see you. Good afternoon, Greg and all. Good afternoon to Quad. Good to see you. Zach is here. Hey, Zach. Nice to see you, bud. And Dan is also here. Hello, Dan. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So, okay. Well, listen. Crazy market today. Last night, the futures were down on the Dow about 900 before I went to bed. I was like, oh my gosh. Then we were down a lot of the day. We started going positive. And then, I don't know, maybe it was an hour ago, the Federal Reserve came out and said they were going to start buying individual corporate bonds, which is an interesting thought, right? Seems like in a normal market, that kind of stuff doesn't happen, but it is happening. And that boosted the market up real quick, real fast. So currently, the Dow is now up 233 points, up 0.91%. The NASDAQ is up 158.84%, 1.66%, and the S&P is up 32.79, up 1.08%. So the big winner today is the NASDAQ. So, all right. Well, listen, the plan for today, first of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. We're going to come back. We're going to take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. After that, some of you have some positions that seem like they're doing pretty well right now. And so we're going to be going over those. Glad to see those doing well, especially compared to how they were this morning. After that, we're going to spend a few minutes on trader psychology, trader's philosophy, good trading words of wisdom. It's very important for me to read these kind of sayings every day to help improve my trading, and I think that will improve your trading as well. So we'll go over that. After that, we're going to go down through my watch list. We're going to go through each stock one by one. I have 3 requirements before I enter any position at the end of the day. First requirement is I need a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up together on one time frame, ideally on multiple time frames. I say this because I look at each indicator like MACD and RSI, moving averages. I look at them as potential groups of buyers. And you're going to put yourself in the best position to have a profitable trade. You're going to increase your chances dramatically if you are in the company with as many other buyers as possible. And that's why I like to look for these confluences. Number 2, have to make sure you have a good risk to reward. Have to make sure you're risking less than you can possibly make on a trade to the upside. 2 to 1 is the minimum for me. So if I'm going to risk $100, I want to be able to make 200 or more to the upside. And then number 3, please be aware of how many correlated positions you have. You don't want to have too many positions in any one sector like tech or auto or healthcare. Because if they go up, they're all going to go up together, which is going to be great. But if they go down, they're going to go down together. So you need some diversification. And it's, in my opinion, it's good to get outside of equities into other things as well, outside of securities like bonds, the dollar, gold, oil, silver, just so you have as much diversification as possible. So anyway, we're going to go down through the list. If I can find something that meets my requirements for all three of those, I will go ahead and purchase it at the end of the day before the market closes. If you have any questions for me after the market closes, I'm happy to answer them for you. If you need any clarification on anything I discussed, I'm happy to answer it for you. If you'd like me to take a look at any particular stock symbols, please let me know. I'm happy to give you my opinion on them. If there's a stock symbol that you'd like me to look at before the market closes and you think it would be helpful for you to take a look at that before the market closes, please let me know. Just make sure you put a star in there so I know it's time sensitive. Okay, and then if you have, after the market closes, if you have any new entries or exits on the positions that are up on the board, please just let me know, but please wait till the end. So I'm off the clock so that the market's closed and the pressure's off, and then I'll make sure I go in there and try to make sure I get those all correct. All right. So that's the plan for today. Please hold on, and about 40 seconds, I'll be right back. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All right, Kamal is here. Hey, bud. I am definitely looking forward to seeing that program that you've written. Thanks for letting me know. Hello, Frank. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day, sir. Marco is here. Hey, Marco. Hope you're having a good evening, my friend. Thanks for coming. Kamal says, oh boy, look at this. We got a list here. So let's take a look before we start going through here, and we'll see what Kamal wants to take a look at. Okay. GH. Yeah, nice V2, close back above the 200-day moving average on the weekly, back above the 50 RSI, right in the value zone. Yeah, looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Only thing is, we're at a 46 RSI. The risk to reward may not be so great, but a lot of positive things going on here for sure. USO. I don't like USO. We came down, we stopped for one day. We had a V1 for sure, but we didn't really have a couple days of movement here. MDBI. Again, only one day of sidewards motion. V1 engulfing bar, which is good, but ideally I'd like to have a couple days of sideways motion. Bounce off the 200 on intuitive surgical. Again, it helps that it bounced off the 200-day moving average, but I don't really see a super valid V1. It's okay. Yeah, that's a pretty decent V1 off of the rejection of the 200, but it did reject the 30 RSI. Utilities is a nice V1, but again, no sideways motion. Twitter, I like that it did it form a V2. Yeah, I guess it did. Twitter's not bad here, especially because the 200-day moving average is right there. Space I kind of like. We have a double bottom, bullish divergence. I'm going to go through that one on the list. GDX is pretty good as well, but it's rejected the 50. ANAB, it's a V1, but no sideways motion. Ooh. ANAB. Oh, we just looked at that one. AT&T, close to a V1, but no sideways motion. Okay, I don't have WOU. ITB. It's pretty strong. It's bullish engulfing bar, but you can see with all of these we had a down move, 1 day side. I mean, that's pretty strong for sure. And IBB. Don't like the big bars here. Yeah, I like GH. I don't like GSO or USO. Yeah, I like gold there. I do like that because that's a serious V1. Closing above the 50 would be, I think, a must. Yeah, I kind of like MDB also because of the false breakout here and the V1. Hopefully it'll close above the 50. Hope that helps. Come on. Frank, hey buddy. You can guide, you can advise, you can even surmise. We seek market truth only to learn nothing is absolute. Trading is motion and doesn't stand still. That's why you need knowledge, skill, and iron will. Very good. Let me try that again. You can guide, you can advise, you can even surmise. We seek market truths only to learn nothing is absolute. Trading is motion and doesn't stand still. That's why you need knowledge, skill, and an iron will. Wow. Really good, Frank. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that effort every day. Really, I do. I was talking with somebody earlier today. They were mentioning your poems. I'm like, I know, they're the best. Glenn's here. Hey, Greg, fed up. No pun intended. That is true. Good to see you, Glenn. Steve Burns, hey, buddy. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Thank you so much for coming every day. It's always nice to see you. Steve says, Dow traded in a 1,000-point range today. We are back in Crazy Town. We are in Crazy Town, Steve. You know, it just seems, you know, the volatility, it just seems like volatility is back. These huge days up and down. I don't know. I don't see us just trending up. I could be 100% wrong. I kind of see us just bouncing up and down and around. But who knows? I am often wrong. Frank says, crazy is the new normal, Steve. Sure. Back in Dexcom, 520 cross. All right. Good, good, good. Definitely had a 520 cross, that's for sure. Let me take a look at something over here. And over here. Hey, Miko. Good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. All right. Well, let's get to it. All right. So my charts are back working, thankfully, with gold. I did get in gold. Speaking of 520, I had a 520 cross right here. I bought only a half a position. I didn't like the strong move up in the big bar. So I took a half position here with the 520 cross at 163.49. I entered my second half when it pulled back and held the halfway mark. The second half I got in at 162.30. Next day it moved up nicely, took some profit today, gapped down horribly, but has reversed back up. So down on the trade so far, but the 5 still is above the 20. If the 5 crosses below the 20, if the price closes below both the 5 and the 20, I will take half off. I'll take another half off if the 5 EMA crosses under the 20 EMA. If it moves up, I will just continue to scale on the way up. But really glad. This was pretty ugly earlier today, so I'm really glad for that pullback. Oh, SPY trade, the ugly. Boy, talk about crazy town. The SPY has been so crazy lately. Okay, real quick. In case we have some new viewers, I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk, or in this case, overnight weekend risk, and I sell it first thing the next morning. I don't base this off of technicals. I base this just off the results of this back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest on Twitter. Since 1993, 2 different approaches they tested. First one, buy the SPY at the open, hold through the day, sell at the close. If you did this every day since 1993, you'd be returning negative 13.9% return. However, if you do the opposite, which is what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold overnight, take the overnight risk, sell the first thing the next morning, a positive 634.2% return. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. That's true. No matter how good a system it literally may never work again in the future, even for one day. But if I'm going to allocate money towards something, it's going to be something that has a good back-tested return. And you can see the blue line, which is the buy in the afternoon, sell the next morning. Over time, all it's done is gone up. But there are significant drawdowns in between, so you have to kind of be ready to ride the bucking bronco up and down and up and down. Long term, it's done fine, but there's big swings in between. So I use a very small position size when I buy this. So that being said, it's been some pretty crazy days. My gosh. Anyway, I bought this Friday at 304.21 for the overnight over the weekend. Sold this morning right at the open 298.10. And then it just reverse back up. So buying in the morning, sell in the afternoon looks like it would have worked a lot better. But look at these massive moves. You know, the last month and a half was just up, 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 up. Then we had this bought here, sold here for a big loss, bought there, sold there for a big gain. And again, today's Friday, buying here and selling here. So it's been pretty volatile. This has been a very volatile year for this. Some big ups and some big downs. I'm down on this using this approach in 2020. I was up nicely in 2019. But overall, just kind of like the chart showed, I mean, I am up overall using this, but this has been a tough year. Okay. Karen, Quad, and Andrea, we all bought the dollar back on the 11th of June at 26.18. We went under 30, over 30. We had a nice V2 here. We had a false breakout from this range, bought it at 26.18. The next day it moved up nicely. I think I hit, I can't remember now, 1 or 2 profit targets. I did move more than 1 ATR for my entry. So currently, if we close, and once I move more than 1 ATR for my entry, if I then close below the previous day's low, I'm going to get out. So 26.13 was Friday's low. Currently, it's at 26.13. So I'm going to have to watch this carefully and see what happens. So if at the end of the day, it closes below there, I'm going to go ahead and just have to get out. Okay, finally, on to some good trades. This is a day trade I took on Intel. You can see this pattern here, close below the 1 ATR channel into the value zone. I like the sideways motion here It washed out the previous bar, 39-minute bar, washed out the previous bar, closed above, giving me a V1. I got in at 59.18, and it is just moved up nicely, 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 nicely. You know what? I was busy doing the show. I didn't notice that. I need to get out of that right now. See this bar right here? It closed below the 50 RSI. That's my signal to get out. So let me go ahead and get out of this real quick. Okay. There we go. Boy, I forgot. I should have gotten out. I should have gotten out there, but where did I get out? Okay. Right there. 59.79. Anyway, nice little trade, right? 59.18 up to 59.79. If I'd have been paying attention, I would have probably gotten out about 10 cents higher. But I bought it here on the higher low V1, moved up, moved up, moved up, moved up. Here it held the 50 RSI. Here I just didn't notice it because I was speaking, and then it closed below the 50 RSI. So this was a quick turnaround. I didn't notice this. But anyway, really nice trade. What percent is that? That's... doesn't seem like a ton. It's 1% roughly, a little over 1%, but pretty good for, you know, a day trade on a stock like Intel. All right, then, yeah, I kind of figured. I did buy the VIX here with this higher low bullish engulfing V1. I bought it at 37.96. It went my way initially, and then right here, I had to get out. Now, this was kind of the same thing. I should have gotten out here, but when I looked at it, it was on the next bar. I got busy and I forgot to look at it. So I got in here 37.96 and I got out at 37.76. So I did lose 20 cents on the trade. So kind of a tough day all the way around. Intel was my saving grace today. So yeah, kind of frustrating, but that's how it goes. Here's another example of a nice V1 that kind of seems to be taking off. So anyway, nothing to write home about on my trades today whatsoever, except for Intel. I'm glad I had one good spot there. All right. Hey, David's here. Good to see you, bud. Andrew says, I hit 2 profit targets on UUP. Was that the other day when we had UUP? Yeah, I couldn't remember whether it was 1 or 2, but yeah, it actually looks like 2. But again, Andrew, I'm going to be getting out of this today if it closes below 26.13, and that's right there. All right, let's look at some good trades. Frank bought DKNG at 37.64. Went sideways, went down. Nice big day today. Look at Frank with 11.63% win. Fantastic, Frank. I think Frank has another one here too. That's right. Snap bought here at 18.75. Looks like a bit of a breakout trade. Moved up really strongly. Pulled back a little. Didn't hit his stop. Frank held it up 2.28% today. David bought CRM back here at 173. Nice V1. False break out of this previous low. Went rocket shipping up, then down, and then kind of unchanged yesterday, but up nicely today, 1.9%. Frank, a bunch of us took this trade here. Pull back to value, sideways motion, crossover trade, 206.69. I think I got out right about in here. I think I got out here, moved sideways, went up, went down, but slightly down today. Frank with another great trade. Every time I see this trade, I'm like, why didn't I not take this trade? It's a perfect trade. Close below the value zone, into the value zone, pull back, V1, bullish engulfing bar, bought here at 62.18. Beautiful move up. Stopped going up, went down a little bit. Is slightly negative today. HLG, all right. Pinsky and Company bought HLG back here at 40.51 on this V2. Went up initially sidewards, went down, reversed back up. Man, this thing's been all over the place. Down 6% today. That's kind of a bummer there. UNG, okay. This is Gary. A bunch of us bought UNG back here with this V1 false breakout of the downside. I got out the very next day because it immediately went out and closed below. Then it went up, kind of moved sideways, was kind of holding in there, but the last 2 days have been really bad. So Gary, if you're listening, sorry about that, bud. And then Gary and Frank, a bunch of us took TLT back here on the 5th of June at 156.08, under 30, over 30, rejection of the third ATR channel. And this was a nice trade. Just moved up, moved up, moved up, moved up. I scaled out, scaled out. I got out Friday with a close below the previous low. Looks like Gary and Frank are still in here. And then lastly, Pinsky and Company took this here at 33, higher low V1, did move up sideways, really big, nice up bar. And then the last couple days, it's just down. I probably would have, well, not probably, I would have gotten out here because it closed below halfway of this washout bar here, but it's down a little bit today. So anyway, there's a few down here, a few ups, but some really big ones like Frank with the 11.4. That's fantastic. Greg, what do you think of Nike? Well, okay, so I can pretty much say this about most stocks. I mean, we had this huge move down on huge amounts of volume. Then we kind of, we were up a little on Friday. I mean, this is good. We have a V1 to the upside. We're back in the value zone. We're above 50 RSI, but this strong move down here, Andrea, I think is going to be difficult to go right back up into because it was sold with such strength down here. I wouldn't be surprised if we went up a little here, but we've made a lower low here. So what's going to happen is people that were fortunate enough to buy down here, once it gets in here and you have any sort of kind of weak action, I think it's going to come back, honestly. So I would not be buying Nike here. It has a V1, 1 day of sideways motion. Sometimes it's enough, but me personally, I wouldn't buy it. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly's back in the value zone. The weekly looks pretty good. Steve says volatility is rarely bullish in the long term. Yeah. Yep. Okay, let me take a look quick, see over here. All right, so listen, before we go down through the watch list, before we take a look for the end of day trade, keeping in mind 3 things, right? Combination confluence of indicators on at least 1 time frame, but ideally on 2 time frames. Number 2, good risk to reward ratio, 2 to 1 is my minimum, and being cognizant of your positions, what kind of correlation you have, right? Those are my 3 requirements. But before we do that, this is the time of the day where I do like to talk about trader psychology, trader philosophy. Learning how to trade is very important. You have to learn, about your indicators, support, resistance, entry levels, exits, profit targets, all that kind of stuff. But really, it's not that difficult. I mean, at first it seems a little difficult, but after a while, you just get it. But that is only the first step in becoming a trader. The second step in becoming a profitable trader, I should say, is being able to follow your plan. And following your plan is very tough. Like, I could make the most perfect diet and exercise program, right? That'll be solid. But can I follow it? It's a whole, it's the whole other challenge, right? So there's no difference in trading. Making your trading plan, good. Following your trading plan, great if you can do it, but that's where trading psychology comes in. So I like to go down through Facebook and Twitter. There's some really great channels out there that spend a lot of time and energy talking about these kind of things, right? Different good, trading words of wisdom and good trading quotes. And this is from Thomas Payne on Twitter. I haven't done one from Thomas in a bit, and I saw this And anyway, Thomas, if you're out there listening, I hope you're doing well. But please, Thomas is a professional trader. He used to be a scientist and he changed occupation. So I really like the sayings that he has. He really gets into the thick of trader psychology. But it's Thomas Payne at Trader T Payne on Twitter. Let's see what Thomas has to say. You must put context behind the word mistake in trading. Many traders call losing trades mistakes, but you must not confuse a losing trade with making the wrong decision. A perfectly executed trade can become a losing trade, but it was not a mistake to take the trade. And I hope that makes sense, right? So every time you take a trade that doesn't work, I can understand how you would think, oh, it was a mistake to take the trade, but there is a big difference. You can have a horrible trade and you make money on it, and that can be a mistake. Or, you can take a really good trade that works out and it's not a mistake. It's just a trade that didn't work out. So make sure you differentiate the two. If you have a good setup, you have good entry, clean chart, distinct, profit targets, distinct stop losses. If you take the trade, position size, right? All the stuff you need to do and it goes against you, it is not a mistake. But keep in mind, you can take a really bad trade that makes money that is a mistake. If we flipped a coin and it was 50-50, the chances are 50-50. And if I won, you paid me, if I paid you $2, and if I won, you paid me $1, right? So if you win, I pay you $2 on the flip. If I win, you pay me $1. You would take that trade or that proposition as long as you could stay awake with me, right? Because you're going to win for sure in the long run. If I have a couple wins in a row, are you going to feel like it was a mistake to take the trade or to flip the coin with me? Absolutely not. So it's the same thing here. So you must put in context the word mistake. Many traders call losing trades mistakes, but you must not confuse a losing trade with making the wrong decision. A perfectly executed trade can become a losing trade, but it was not a mistake to take the trade. So anyway, thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you posting that. I hope you're doing well. Okay. Gary, hey buddy. Good to see you, my friend. Nice having you here for sure. Hey, and Steve, I know that you have your new e-course out on newtraderu.com, and I believe it is a second edition of real trades that you've taken and your thinking on why you got in them, how you manage them going forward. And I'm going to get that. I just saw that. But anyway, if anybody's interested, he had the first course with that I really enjoyed. I will definitely be subscribing to that, but it's over at newtraderu.com, and Steve knows what he's talking about. So it's over at newtraderu.com, and I think it's under previous trades, how you manage previous trades, the second edition, if I'm right. Right, Steve? Oh, wow. The Dow is now negative. Holy smokes, Lees. Okay, let me make a quick little correction over here. I have a count that I manage some puts, and I'll tell you, when you buy long-term puts, it's like a full-time job to try to get out of these things at a good price. So I've been managing those for him. Wow, the Dow went negative. How about that? Unbelievable. Okay. Steve says, you are correct, Greg. My first new e-course in over a year. Thank you. Steve, I want to show it on the screen, but I get concerned about YouTube because I was in YouTube jail, and I think maybe it's because I showed other screens. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to do it to be safe, but everybody knows it's newtraderu.com, and it's Steve's new e-course. So I highly recommend it. I've gone through all of his courses. Okie doke. Andrew says, I'll check it out. Yeah, good idea. Excuse me. Okay. Let's go down, see what's happening. Apple. Up today. Waiting for it to come back into the value zone before I get interested. Look at the really volatile. Down, up, down, up. It's up $3 now. It was just up $6 or $5. So waiting for a pullback into value is what I'm looking for. Adobe, same with Adobe, just waiting for a pullback. I really want to be careful on trades that I take right now with all this volatility. Amazon, oh, up nicely. You can see it came down into the value zone, bounced, but really no clear entry here yet. Boeing, well, nothing here. I'll tell you, Boeing, this was the best trade. You know, I just showed you Intel a minute ago. You see how similar these patterns are? We came down, we moved sideways, we had a V2, moved right on up. I got in here. I got out here when it rejected the 50-day moving average. And is it up today? No. But anyway, nothing on the daily. Alibaba, way off of its lows, but you know, in the value zone, but I need to see it at least move sideways for a couple days and then get a V1, V2. Berkshire Hathaway, well off of its lows, but look at this. I manage another account and I did get out of Berkshire, right? I honestly can't remember now whether it was here or here because we started getting high in the value zone, but I'm glad I did. So I like Berkshire Hathaway. I look for another entry, but I don't see anything here. Beyond Meat up strong today, up 5.5%. My gosh, looks like a bullish engulfing bar, but nothing there. I don't like where it's at with the channels. Caterpillar, well, way above the value zone, in the value zone, 1 day sideways, 2 days sideways. So now if I could get a V1 or a V2, I would buy this pull back to value, but I don't really have a trigger yet. Carnival Cruise Line, don't really see anything. Big up, big down. Now we've made a lower high. I wouldn't be surprised if we wash this low out. So I'll be looking for V1, V2 down in here somewhere. DDM. It's double leveraged out into the value zone, 1 day sideways. Here's a V1, but just not enough stability yet, not enough consolidation. Dow, exactly the same thing. Walt Disney, closed below the 1ATR channel. Like to see it rally up into the value zone, then have a pullback and buy that higher low. So that's what I'm going to be waiting for on Walt Disney. Etsy, big day up there, rejected the 1ATR channel. I don't see a clean entry here or a clean setup here. Facebook is up above the value zone, into the value zone. We've had 2 days of sideways motion. So that's the first step, but now I need to see a V1 or a V2. Gold, I do have. The 520 crossover is still in play, so I'm still going to hold this. Really glad it's off of the lows, though. Google, look at this, just huge move down. We are in the value zone. We have had 1 day sideways, 2 days sideways. Now I need to look for that third day, not third day sideways, but now that we have 2 days sideways, I need to look for a V1 or a V2. Goldman Sachs, very similar to the rest, into the value zone, 2 days sideways, but nothing there yet. Home Depot, boy, you know, we had this big up move, just non-stop up move. Remember I was talking about it, I was like, this thing needs to break one way or the other, and boy, did it break. It broke hard. So I don't see anything here. I'd like to see this pull back into the value zone, then couple days down and look for a higher low V1 or V2. IBB, yes, it was a V1 on Friday, just these big bars scare me. They just show me that there's lots of selling, lots of buying, and a lot of volatility. When I see big bars, I think volatility. That's why I like to look for small bars before I take a V1 or a V2. Intel, let's see. All right, well, it looks like I did get out of that the right place. See how similar this is to the Boeing trade? Below the 1 ATR channel, into the value zone, sideways motion, V1, up, 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 up. I should have got out there, but I missed it there. Got out at 59.79, but good thing I did. But that was a really good trade. Russell, big pullback. You know, I'd rather be buying in here than up here, that's for sure, right? But it's just large bars. I just don't see anything here that really qualifies. Johnson & Johnson, bounce off the 100-day moving average, which isn't bad. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly's, you know, in the value zone, have some support here. Not too shabby, but this big bar here really scares me. So I'm going to stay away from Johnson & Johnson. CarMax, nice V1, bullish engulfing bar out of the value zone. But again, there was no sideways motion. I would imagine this might go up another day and then come back down. If you drop a ball, it's going to bounce. But it's not, if you drop a ball, it's not going to bounce right back up to you. Right? It's going to bounce a little bit. It's going to go up, but not as high as it did the first time. So we have a lower high here currently in place. I'd like to see it wash this out and then look for a V1 or a V2 or a play off the 200-day moving average. Coca-Cola, big reversal bar back up. But again, you see the slope of this. It's just down strong. If you go down strong, you don't usually come right back up strong. Lockheed Martin, I don't see anything there. MasterCard, I don't see anything there. Bounce off the 200-day moving average or a close under, close over. That would be interesting for the coming days. McDonald's, into the value zone, little sideways motion, but no trigger. My gosh, Merck did not like that 200-day moving average, did it? It has just been straight down, 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 down since there. You know, it's at a 34.39 RSI. I might look at it if it tests the 30 RSI. Microsoft up $1.47. It's good. It's V1, but not enough for me to institute a new position. Netflix. Don't see anything here either. Nike we talked about. It's a nice V1 back in the value zone, but I have a feeling it's going to stall out. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but that's from experience, that's what it tells me. Philip Morris, higher low V1 in the value zone, but Friday's bar was too big. It's larger than 1 ATR, so I'm going to have to pass on that. PayPal, a lot stronger than a lot of the markets out there. But look, we've gone up and up and up and up and up. The momentum, even though this price has gone up, the momentum's gone down and down and down and down and down. So that's a straight up bearish divergence here. So I can't get involved there. The Qs, big rally off the low today, but again, just too large of bars, too big of bars, too much downwards motion. Silver, nice little bounce off of the 200-day moving average. I would wait for the 5 to cross under the 20 and then back over. Virgin Galactic's not bad. We do have a double bottom with the bullish divergence here. Here we have a low with deep MACD bars. Then we rally, we make some green MACD bars. Now we have made a lower low than back here. These MACD bars are not as deep, meaning the momentum is not as deep as this first move. It's a subpar V1. It did wash out, but not very much. It did have looks like a bullish engulfing bar. I think I'm going to pass on this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for, see if we can get another day up and then a pullback and then a higher low V1. If you have a double bottom with a bullish divergence, yes, you can take the trade. But one of my favorite trades is having a double bottom with the bullish divergence followed by a higher low V1. That's really the cat's meow right there as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just going to hold off on that. SPY got whacked up on that today. I will be buying this again today at the close. Teladoc up 8%. My gosh. Strong, strong, strong. I think it had a 520 crossover. I can't remember if anybody tested that to see if that was a good crossover. I can't remember, but this is up strong, but too high for me to buy here. I know I get picky, right, with what I buy. Oh, this one's too high. Oh, this one's too low. Oh, those bars aren't big enough, blah, blah, blah. But really, you know, I think in order to take money out of this market, you have to be very selective in the trades that you take. Bonds, I did get out. Looks like Gary and Frank are still in today, so it's up slightly. So good. Tesla, oh boy, up 6%. Holy smokes. Boy. Anyway, nothing there for me. Twitter. I mean, I like the bounce, you know, the bounce off the 200-day and then the move up when we're over 50. I mean, it's not horrible. It's not great either. But not bad. UAL was down much more earlier, reverse back up, but I don't see anything here. UNG, oh boy. So look, we have a double bottom with the bullish divergence. See the lows here? See how deep the bars are? Then we rallied into some green. Now we're at new lows. Well, we're to 34.26. We're getting close to the third ATR channel. So I would look for an under 30, over 30 is where I would get in, because under 30, over 30 with the double bottom with the bullish divergence is generally a pretty good risk to reward ratio. UNH, just too big of bars down. Oil is just way too high on the weekly for me to be able to buy up here. But into the value zone, we did get 1 day sideways motion. It is one heck of a V1 for sure. 65 RSI is a little high though. Dollar I have, looks like it is off of its yesterday's or Friday's close, so I will keep it as long as it's above 26.13. VIX, boy, this has been a wild one, hasn't it? By the way, I know Steve is looking at possibly buying some puts on, weekly puts on SPY. Let me check that real quick. I think he's only instituting that trade as long as the 10 is above the 30. Is it? It is not quite yet. So with the 10 above the 30, he's buying weekly puts on the SPY, but it doesn't look like it's over. It's close. Verizon, pull back into the value zone. I like the deep dip into the value zone. Just need some sideways motion. Walgreens, down, down, down. 1 day sideways motion. Even if it created a V1 here, I wouldn't take it. I want a couple days. Walmart, you know, I actually kind of like Walmart because we went under the 30 and over the 30, and we rejected the 30 200-day moving average. So let me quickly, yeah. Okay, I do kind of like it. I like the under 30, over 30, and the 250-day moving average there. And if I look at the weekly, I like the weekly. It's come into the value zone right at the 50-day. Actually, Walmart's probably my favorite one there so far. Energy, no. Financials looks almost exactly the same. Nope. Real estate, they all look kind of the same, but not enough for me to buy. XLU, rejection of the -1 ATR channel, rejection of the 50 and a V1, but only 1 day's sideways motion. Healthcare, you know, on the weekly it's holding the 50. It's rejected the 200-day twice in a row. I do kind of like that. Actually, rejected the third ATR channel. I do kind of like that. I don't like the big down, down, down bars, but we're at a 41.61 RSI. Yeah, I'm not sure the risk to reward makes sense on that. Actually, I take it back. And then Zoom. Zoom is zooming on away. Wow, broke out, made a new high. Amazing. Okay, so I kind of narrowed it down here to Spice. Don't think so. I think as long as Walmart closes above the 30 RSI and closes above that 200-day, I'll probably take this at the close. If it moves up tomorrow, rejects the 200-day, I might just go ahead and get out. My stop would be a close under 30, but honestly, Walmart today looks the best as long as it closes above a 30 RSI. Dan says, Greg, about big bars, I'm reading a book called Volume Price Analysis by Anna Cooling. She calls big bar volatility that means possible congestion or change in a trend. I'm reading a book called Volume Price Analysis by Anna Cooling. She calls big bars volatility bars that mean possible congestion or a change in the trend. Well, if you have sideways motion, Dan, if you have sideways motion and then let's look at Apple. If you have sideways motion and then you have a big bar, and I don't know if we're talking exactly about the big bars because yours called volume price, but if you have sideways motion and then a big bar either to the upside or the downside, yes, that does indicate to me kind of a trend change. If you're going sideways and you have a big volatility bar up, you're probably going higher. But if you have if you have sideways motion, a big volatility down, then I think you're going lower. I mean, if we look at the SPY, how you have these little bars and then you have a big monster bar. To me, that means in the longer term you're probably going down. If you have sideways bars and you have a big up bar, in the next day or two you may be a little overbought, but in the long term, like up, like on this bar here on gold, the big monster bar up. In the short term, yeah, I think it might be overbought for a minute, and that's why I only bought half here and bought the other half here. But the long term, those big bars, especially larger than 1 ATR, to me are kind of trend change bars. Hey, Pincy, how you doing? Let's look at pod. Well, it's a higher low. See the low here is higher than here. It's a higher low V1, bounce off the 200-day moving average. Not bad. It's a 47.29 RSI. That's my only concern. You're a little close to 50 and you have a whole lot of resistance above you here. Now this is what I'm talking about, return to value. This is on the weekly and having 1 day sideways, another day sideways, another day sideways, or another bar sideways. Yeah, this is probably going to move one way or the other. By the way, Dan, look at this big bar here, right? This big bar here indicated probably possible trend change, and it did. But would I buy this here right now? Probably not, just because the risk to reward doesn't make sense to me if my reward's up here. Steve says, VIX signal is fading again. Everything is volatile. It sure is. Frank says, Walmart does look good. I think so. Mustafa is here. Hey, how you doing, Mustafa? Good to see you, my friend. Yes, I am taking questions. What is the minimum amount of capital needed to consider day trading? Well, that's a tough question. I mean, you have the day trading margin rule. I think you need $25,000, I believe, in order to do that. If you're going to day trade, honestly, just day trading, not swing trading, but just day trading, I think 25,000 would be a reasonable amount, honestly, just because of that day trading rule that they have. Otherwise, you can't buy and sell as much as you want to. As far as, how much you need for trading outside, if you're doing swing trading, what you have. I think you start with what you have and you position correctly and all that kind of stuff. But for day trading, I think 25,000 would be desirable. Anyway, hope that helped. Okay. So it looks like I am going to buy Walmart here. Good risk to reward ratio. Oh, now the Dow's back up 100. Wow. Mustafa says, do the rules differ from US and Canada? Mustafa, honestly, I'm not familiar with the rules in Canada. I know the rules here in the United States are 25,000. I think they are different in some sense, but I think Karen's from Canada, right, Karen? Maybe she would know. Or near Canada. It's been a while since we spoke, Karen. That's why I'm not sure, but I think it is. I think it is Canada. All right, 2 minutes. Let me take a look at Walmart here on the little chart and see. So 1.5 minutes left on my end. A lot of volume into this last 5-minute bar here. Wow, VIX went positive. Holy smokes. Ooh, that was the trade I should have taken, guys, right? The high. Oh, man. Dang it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and buy Walmart. Okay. Good to go. Pattern day trading rule, not in Canada. Sorry, autocorrect. Okay, thank you, Dan. Bob says, hi, Greg. Walmart on charts, not adjusted for dividends. Both the open and the mark are above the 200-day. Could that affect things? Well, here, let me see how Walmart would look. No, it's fine, actually. But I'll tell you what, I had this set for not accounting for, I don't know why this was preset here. So remember how I tell you take your trades based upon the chart that you have? So I am going to have to take this trade based upon the Walmart here because this did go under 30 and over 30 and reject the 200. But if you were adjusting for dividends, you're 100% right, Bob. In that case, I still would have taken the trade with the close above the 200-day. Mustafa says, when should I consider airlines in regards to this COVID? I would just personally go off of the charts. I try not to try to figure in timing and everything with current situations going on. I would just wait, Mustafa, for a clear signal, like a V2 crossover, something like that in regards to airlines. But just as far as when's a good time, I don't know when the chart says it's a good time. Okay, so it looks like some of you have some trades. Listen, before I get to that, just want to quickly go through my quick little daily plug, let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching and mentoring lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I've had really good success with my students. I do teach a course. It's 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours, so it's a long course. It's a long form course because I think you really need to put in the hours in order to really be able to teach a student so they really know it and really have it. Like I said, it's 5 sessions, 3 hours. The format of the course is the first hour and a half I teach, the second half I have you teach it back to me. I ask you questions. We go through a lot of chart study. Each session I'm teaching you a different lesson, a different approach. As we move through the lessons, we talk about the new approaches, but then we circle back to the old approaches. And so by the time you're done, you really should have a good knowledge of how to trade with entries and exits, stop losses, emergency stops, intermediate term profit targets, ultimate profit targets. But I've been trading for 24 years. I've studied one-on-one with some really great traders and coaches like Steve Burns and Dr. Alexander Elder and Kerry Lavorne and Larry Williams. And in the course, I teach you everything that I've learned from all these gentlemen, plus everything I've learned in my experience of 24 years. But I think one-on-one teaching is the best way to go. So if you're interested, please reach out to me. If my email is in the description of this video, you can also send me a message on Twitter at Gossett Trading on Twitter. But if you do contact me, what I want to do is set up a Skype call with you just to get you know you a little bit better, ask you some questions. That way you can ask me any questions about the course. I do want to reiterate, it's not a sales call. I promise you it's not. It's just there to get to know each other a little bit. I won't even ask if you want to take the lessons. I'll just say, hey, look, if you're after our call, if you're interested, just send me an email and we'll get it scheduled. So I just want to get a feel for you and you can get a feel for me. Okay. So if you're interested, please reach out to me. I think you'll enjoy it. It is $1,000, but I think it's worth every penny. And if you've been thinking about it, reach out to me and we'll do it. And then if you like today's podcast, if you found it helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could just take a half a second and hit that thumbs up button. It really does help build the channel. So, okay, let me take a look over here now and see where I got in on everything. So I got in at Walmart at 117.96. And where is my SPY? And my SPY is at 307.05. Okay, so let's get rid of Intel. And let's get rid of VIX. All right, so Walmart, 117. 96. All right, we got a little jump on that one, which is good, but I'm gonna have to move this over here to that because that's how I took the trade. And then SPY. Ooh, that was not a good over weekend SPY trade at all, was it? But that's how it goes sometimes. It really is how it goes sometimes. 307.05. Okay, that has me taken care of. Gold is fine. SPY got in there. UUP did hold. Walmart just got in there. So yeah, not a lot of setups here for me. Okay, let's get to it for Kamal now. All right, Kamal bought Spice, Space, Virgin Galactic, whatever we want to call it. GDX. Okay. MDB. All right. We got Kamal there. And USO. All right, got you taken care of there. Okay, Gary's at a UNG. Okay, yeah, that one just did not work, did it? And I'll put you there. Gary, right there. Mustafa says, I wish I shorted airlines in February. Oh, when I first read that, it said I shorted airlines in February. I was like, oh, congratulations. Yeah, a bunch of us wish we would have. Glenn says, NB requires 20,000. Q-Trade requires 25,000 in Canada. That's what Glenn says, Mustafa. Thank you for that, Glenn. Pinsky says, I sold KR during the day at 32. So you're at a KR. Okay. Locked in a 2.9% loss. Okay. All right, so we're out of that one. And today took another loser, Space, which I've been eyeballing. So you entered Space today, Pinsy, and today took another loser, Space, which I've been eyeballing since Friday. So you had an intraday loss on that? Is that what you're saying? Or you took the trade today, here at the end? All right, Andrew about Walmart. Okay, Andrew, we got you. Oh, and Dexcom. All right, Glenn got into Dexcom. I'm not exactly sure where. Was it earlier in the day? Let me see if I can look back and see. All right, Glenn. Okay, here at the end. That's what Pinsky said. Gotcha. Let me look back up there and see if Glenn had a price for me. Oh, 375.16. $375. Oh, nice trade. Whoa, what a beauty. What a beauty indeed, Glenn. Karen is in Walmart. Okay. All right, so we have a bunch of new positions here. So we have Kamal and Pinsky in Virgin Galactic. I do like the double bottom here with the bullish divergence. The bullish engulfing is good. So hopefully that one goes up for the two of you. Frank had a monster trade, 13.31%. Way to go, Frank, on DraftKings. Snap. Frank is still doing very well. It was up nicely today. David had a good day here on CRM. A little bit of a down day here for Frank on BABA, but still profitable in the trade. A little bit down here for Frank on GIB, but still profitable. HLG, looks like Pinsky still have this one's a little underwater. TLT looks like I still have Gary and Frank in there. Dexcom, we just talked about that. Kamal went long with gold, GDX, which are the gold miners ETF. Nice V1. Close over the 50, thankfully. 50.01, right? MDB, Kamal with the V1 false breakout to the downside from here. Hopefully that will work out. And then oil. Pull back into value. Better than buying here than up in the value zone, above the value zone, right? All right. So looks like IWM's a bit up after hours. The Qs are up 55 cents after hours. SPY's up 65 cents up after hours. That's good for my overnight SPY trade after today's whooping. And Walmart's up 7 cents after hours. All right. What a day. Wow. Volatility. Unbelievable. It should be interesting to see what happens here. You know, I use this analogy all the time, but you throw a big rock into a lake And you get a lot of commotion with the water until things settle down. And the day that we had on Thursday, I think, was it, where we had the big down day? Was it Thursday or Friday? Today is Monday. Friday, it was Thursday was the big down bar. Anyway, the news, with the Fed buying corporate bonds, that's what turned the market around today, obviously. Be interesting to see how people really digest that. I don't know. I just don't think the volatility is over. So that's why I'm being pretty conservative here on what I'm doing. We'll see if I'm right or not. I don't know. Hey, I watched Apocalypto last night. Man, that was a good movie. Anybody see that? Kamal says, Greg, question, did Walmart go below 30 RSI at the lows of the day? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 29.44. See right here? With the little tool down to 29.44, and then it reversed back up now up to 32.89. He had me scared there for a minute. I was pretty sure I checked that earlier in the day that I was correct on that, but yeah, it did. Out of GIB at the close for Frank. Okay. Okay, nice trade, Frank. Profitable. Down a bit today, but definitely profitable. Very nice. GM, what's happening? Good to see you. Do you still have your Amazon put, GM? I'm thinking off the top of my head, it was 2,600, right? Expiring next Friday. So it is in the money so far. Amazon came roaring back up here a little bit today. Oh, I don't have it on here. Maybe you closed it. Maybe you closed it on Friday. But anyway, thanks for coming by. Thanks for saying hi. Sold it today. Was it profitable? I assume it was. Speaking of Amazon, I did some chart study this weekend, and I was looking at, where was I looking? Oh, 1,700. I was considering selling some puts on at 1,700. Let me see if I can find it. It's a ways down there for sure. Yeah, it was down here at the 200-day moving average, roughly. Or no, 1970, excuse me, 1970. And so just to give you an idea of when I do sell puts, okay, here makes sense 1970 at the 200-day moving average. If I go to the week, do you see how the 1970 on the weekly lines up nicely with the 50 moving average? And then if I go to the weekly, it lines up with the 20 monthly, it lines up with the 20 months. So when I sell puts, I pick a price that has real support on each time frame. So on the monthly, that 1970 has support of the 20-month moving average. Weekly has support of the 50 moving average, and the daily has support at the 200. So anyway, I'm thinking about, depending what happens here, I'm thinking about selling some puts down to 1970, but I don't want to sell the puts on an up day. I want to sell it on a down day, and that because it would increase the premium. But that's looks like a pretty strong price there. Gives about 23% protection to the downside, and with fairly decent premium. GM says 26 bought and sold last contract today at 85. Wow. It will retest the lows. All right. Well, you heard it. You heard it from GM. Like the lows of the lows of the lows. Which lows are we talking about? You can hear the birds out there. They're chirping up a storm. Okay. Well, anybody, if you have any questions for me, any other questions, this would be the time to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to put my hiking boots on, go out. It's a beautiful day here in Utah. Go up in the mountains, hike around. Big reversal today. 2488 area. Well, that would go blasting right through my, that would go blasting right through. Oh, 24. Okay. I thought I was reading that as 17. 2488 area. Oh, down here. Gotcha. Karen says, enjoy the beautiful day. Thank you, Karen. Hey, and look forward to our next lesson. Whenever you're ready, you just let me know, okay? All right. Well, listen, thank you, everybody, for coming. Appreciate you being here. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Congratulations to those of you that had a good update day today. That's always nice. Not one of my best days. Not a bad day, but not that good of one, but that's how it goes, right? And sometimes it doesn't just go like that for a day or two. I mean, there's been times where it goes on for a month, right? And remember, if things are going your way, it's easy to trade well. But if they start going against you and they start going against you for multiple days, that's the danger zone. That's when you have to start being careful and aware, because how you conduct yourself in those type of environments is really going to determine whether or not you're a profitable trader or not in the long run. Have a good night. Kiss, kiss. You too. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Please go out and try to do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile or a wave or a hello, or just be pleasant. We need a lot more of that in this world right now, right? And like I say, it's 100% scientifically proven to help your trading if you're nice to people. At least that's what I made up in my mind. GM says market will be sideways for a while. Bad for options. Depends, right? Depends whether you're buying or selling them. But I agree. I think we are going to have choppy up and down sideways before we pick a direction. I agree 100%. All right, everybody. That's that. Have a good day. Be good. Be safe. And I hope to see you tomorrow during the last hour of the market. Take care now. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.